Welcome back, friends, to the shop. So I've been getting a lot of comments about my appearance changing, or that I've been looking different or maybe looking healthier, and what I'm doing and why that is. If I change my diet, it's simple, guys. I quit drinking. That's it. Quit drinking, the weight fell off, sleeping the sleep of the just. It's absolutely amazing, the difference. I going on 4 months now, and I can pretty much honestly, I consider myself now when I go out, it's become such a habit over these 4 months. I just consider myself a person that just doesn't drink alcohol. And when I look at myself when I see the difference in my face, and I see the difference in my vitality and the weight and being able to sleep all night long. Actually, Mrs. W hasn't been super thrilled about it because I used to be a pretty light sleeper. And if the sweet loaf or the dogs would need up or out or something like that, I would always wake up. Not anymore. As soon as my head hits the pillow, about 2 minutes, I'm down, and I don't wake up until the next morning. It is absolutely glorious. I didn't think that that was going to be possible for me. I just thought that, to have a peaceful night's sleep like that, I thought that was something that belonged to young people. And then when you get older and you have the cares and the burden, the responsibility of life, so many things going on in a man's head, especially when you are the breadwinner for your family, that your mind is just going all the time. C.S. Lewis said, I think it was C.S. Lewis, says, no, maybe it was the Bible, I don't remember. Maybe, yeah, it was Proverbs. Swimming in your bed all night, tossing and turning and rolling around and all that. Gone. Yeah, I'm in 32-inch pants now. That's what I was wearing when I was in high school. Gone is the belly. Gone is the jiggly, squishy body. A lot of that's got to do with, I'm doing my convict conditioning again, and the kiteboarding is a tremendous workout. But it's awesome. If you're still doing it, if you're sitting on the fence, man, just let it go. Let it go. It'll change. It'll be amazing, the transformation. You won't even have to do anything. You don't have to go on a diet. You just be fit and looking good for your wife, right? All right, so I was down at the river the other day with my family, and I was sharing a really funny story, or something that was really embarrassing that happened to me when I first started dating Mrs. W. And it was it revolved around the worst haircut I ever had, or I guess that would be the name of the story. I was telling my dad, and he said, "You've got to share that." That he hadn't heard that. That is really really funny. So I'll share that story with you now. So Mrs. W, of course, she grew up in the Midwest, and how do I put this? So when I first started dating her, I didn't have the best relationship with my father-in-law, Vinnie. You've seen him in the videos. Now, I need to preface this. This has all changed, and we're very close now, and we travel together, and I just love Mrs. W's parents. And all this stuff is behind us now, but we can talk about it now. I don't think I'm disclosing anything that would hurt anyone's feelings, because we joke about it all the time. So to set this up, I didn't go to college. I was more of a blue collar guy. I went into the construction trades. Mrs. W on the other side was very academic and has advanced degrees and all those sort of things. So very different backgrounds, right? And I think, if I were to put myself in Mrs. W's dad's position, Vinnie, and my daughter, I would want the best for her as well, and when I see her maybe unequally yoking her someone, that, there might be some concerns there, right? So we didn't start off exactly on the right foot. I used to joke with Mrs. W, in the perfect way I could sum up our relationship, Vince and I's, was from Meet the Parents. The Robert De Niro character, he's the spy catcher, and he's very untrusting of the new boyfriend or husband or whatever it is. It was just like that, just like that. So I can't believe I did this, but we had just started dating, and I go home back to the Midwest to meet her parents for the first time. And we have not been dating very long. there's no commitments or anything like that. And of course, staying in their house, when I think about it now, it just makes me cringe. It's just so inappropriate. But I just didn't have a clue. Anyway, so and there's definitely some tension there, and I'm certainly on my best behavior, and it's just not the best visit I've ever had, right? So I mentioned the fact that I need a haircut. So Vince says, well, why don't you use my barber? And it's a small town. It's probably the only barber, one of the only ones in town. So I go down there, and he's known, my future father-in-law for a long time. And I get my hair cut, and we're having a conversation. And this guy's, he's a pretty nice guy. He's kind of a joker. And he's asking a question. So he starts asking me questions. He starts putting all this together, right? And he realizes that I am the boyfriend of Vince's only daughter, right? I'm in town visiting, so he's putting this all together. So I get the haircut's all done, and I'm sitting in the chair, and this guy does the meanest thing to me that anyone could have ever done. It was like the worst possible thing he could have done. He picks up the phone, and I'm sitting there watching this, and I'm completely oblivious to what's going on. He picks up the phone, and he calls my future father-in-law. He calls Vince, right? And he says, Vince, yeah, so that guy that is dating your girl or dating your daughter, yeah, he just came in for a haircut, and he ran out and didn't pay. And I heard the words coming out of his mouth. And keep in mind, I'm on very, very thin ice with Vince, right? Or I think so anyway. I'm staying in his house. And where am I going to go, right? And I hear this, and I'm just thinking, no, he didn't just do that, right? This was a joke. You know, he was totally getting me. Well, Vince didn't know this. Vince is a couple blocks away down in the shop. And all I hear him say is, I'll be right there. So here I am, and I'm looking at the guy. I'm like, why did you say that? You shouldn't have said that. That's like, you don't have any idea what you just did. You don't know how terrible this is. Of all the people, of all the situations that was the most inappropriate thing to say ever, you just did it. And here he comes, and Vince, he's mad. He actually believes this is happening, and he's coming, and he's angry, and his hand is open, man. He's got cash in hand. He is going to deal with this because this is a small town, and reputation is everything, right? And I'm just watching this whole thing unfold, right? And he comes in, and it was very awkward and very uncomfortable. I was mortified. I was so embarrassed. And I don't know that maybe it helped break the ice a little bit, but I don't remember it that way. But it was a funny story, and that's how it happened. And yeah, and I'm glad to say we had some rough times, and we butted heads a little bit at first, but we got things worked out. And I think what helped a lot was, we just didn't get along very well at first, and so we lived a long ways away. He was worried and didn't know anything about my background and concerned and all of that. And the more worried and the more intrusive he was trying to be, by trying to get information and find out what's going on, which is reasonable. The more we were like pushing back, until it finally came to a head. And I think what really helped was the fact that we started making videos, and he was able to see, oh, they're not completely crazy, and it looks like maybe they are. He is treating my daughter well, and I think that helped a lot because they of course watch all the videos. And Vince and Shustin, good to see you. I hope I didn't say anything out of line here, but I think we have a great relationship, and I just think the world of them. I like them so well that we travel together. So what does that say? All right. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the story. Thanks. Say hi to Vince and Shustin, and they'll be coming to see us here this fall. We're looking forward to that, and maybe we can even get them on video. Mrs. W. thought it'd be funny if I could get Vince's side of the story, his perspective on that. So it might be worth doing. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next video.